All right. Hello, everybody. KVU Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams here with our nightly extended update on the forecast. I apologize. I'm running a little bit late tonight. Normally we start at 7 o'clock. Took me a little extra time to update the web and all the other digital stuff that we do here at KVU. But we're live now. And man, it has been nice today to have, number one, the rain, but also some cooler weather. Highs only in the 60s today. We've had some areas between yesterday and today that are now upwards of 2 inches of rain. And you know what? We're not done with the rain yet. I think some more will move in. We still have a little bit of light stuff out there this evening. I think we'll have some more that comes in from the south overnight into the first part of the day on Friday. And even into the afternoon on Friday, there could be some isolated showers and storms around. We'll get a little bit of a break on Saturday, and then, hey, maybe on Sunday, another system could bring us some rain. So I like the way things are trending. Honestly, I wish we got a little bit more rain out of this event, but otherwise, it's been nice just to have some wet weather around. All right, so let's kind of dive into things here, and I want to start giving you some of the numbers today. So we talked about how cool it was today. The high temperature, only 67 degrees in Austin today. That is our coolest day since March 9th. That was 18 days ago. What about the rain? Well, today alone, 0.78 inches of rain so far. You also need to factor in some from yesterday, but we'll just take today's number. 0.78 inches, our wettest day, wettest single day since February 11th, which is 44 days ago. That tells you just how dry we have been. So again, it's been really nice to have the rain around today. Here's a few more of the numbers. In fact, Camp Mabry just updated, so 0.8 inches of rain now in the bucket there. The airport on the southeast side of town has been a little bit drier today, 0.31 inches. I took some of these numbers from the LCRA gauges, the Lower Colorado River Authority. They have dozens of gauges across our area. These were some of the highest that I could find. Manchaca, 2.19 inches of rain. Slaughter Creek at Brody Lane, 1.88 inches. Barton Creek at Oak Hill, closing in on 1.5 inches. Bastrop over an inch. Blanco, the Blanco River near the Kyle area in Hayes County, also at about 1.31 inches of rain. So we've had some pretty good totals, upwards of 2 inches in spots. A little bit more still on the way. All right, here's what's going on right now. I was just out in the parking lot here at KVU, kind of seeing what was going on. We had a little bit of light drizzle and light rain, but there's not much heavy stuff out there right now. Current temperature for Camp Mabry is 66. The airport sitting at 68 degrees. We're just going to, I don't think we're going to drop a whole lot tonight. We'll just kind of hover around these numbers in the mid to upper 60s. All right, so here's the radar right now. And I'll take this full just so you can get a look at this. Again, it's trending less eventful. I think we'll get into a little bit of a lull this evening, and then some more rain's going to come up tonight into tomorrow morning. Looks like we do have a little bit of rain, which has developed down here over parts of Caldwell and Bastrop County. We'll see if this maybe becomes a little bit steadier. That could move into parts of the East Metro. Not bad. Again, you know, out around the airport, some of those totals lagging behind a little bit, so it'd be good to have a little bit more rain out there. But otherwise, from String Prairie heading up towards Bastrop, there's a little bit of rain going on. And then here's the view from northwest Travis into Williamson County and into Burnett County. This is probably the heaviest stuff we have right now. This is going to be right along the 183 corridor near Bertram and Briggs. Again, it's nothing crazy, but a little bit more of a persistent downpour there over northeastern Burnett County. Let's back out the view, though, and you're going to see, as I mentioned, we still have some more stuff which has developed down to our south and to our southwest. So look at all of that going on down towards the Brownsville area. That stuff's mainly going to stay to our south, but you know, we'll keep an eye on some of this. Let me give you kind of the pointer here. I mean, we've got this big batch which has developed over the higher terrain of northern Mexico. We'll see if maybe that could drift in closer to us. Kind of this northern edge of rain. We'll see if that can maybe get into parts of our KVU area. And then likewise, we've got kind of some hit or miss activity in this region, and we'll see how all of that unfolds. But there's still some more activity, some more moisture down to our south and to our southwest. I think some of this will work into our area, and we'll likely get some additional batches which will form through the rest of tonight. All right, look at this. Rainfall totals. These are the 48-hour numbers. Obviously, we have had some rain locally, but by far, the heaviest totals have been down in South Texas. I want to punch up some of these numbers. I mean, look at this. Down along the border, 9.2 inches of rain. That's going to be close to a foot of rain. I mean, just some crazy totals here over parts of South Texas. 9 inches. Look at that, 9.2 inches, just crazy. Then you get up a little bit closer to us, and we'll cue up some of the numbers. Anywhere in the blue, by the way, that's at least 1/10 of an inch of rain. Most of us have seen more than that. Anywhere in the green is at least 1 inch of rain. So let's zoom in here on some of these higher totals, which generally run from like Luling into San Marcos and into Blanco. As I told you, we have some spots that have seen upwards of 2 inches of rain. We'll just punch up a couple of these numbers. There's a 2.1 kind of in the Wimberley area. Get down towards Luling, 1.8. 2 inches. So again, this has been some good rain. We certainly appreciate it. We know about our drought conditions. I don't think this is going to eliminate the drought, certainly not in the hill country where the worst of the drought is, but is this enough to make a little bit of a dent in it? I think so. And we've been talking so much about the fire threat the past couple of weeks. Just to get a little bit more moisture in the soil and moisture on the trees and grass and everything, I think that's going to be helpful for us too. All right, so as we go through this evening, here's 8 o'clock. We'll keep going into about midnight. As I mentioned, a little bit of a lull going on for the next couple of hours. But once we get into the overnight, I think a couple more heavy downpours might start to develop. And then tomorrow morning still looks pretty wet, especially for areas Burnett, Johnson City, Blanco points to the east. And through the first half of the day tomorrow, kind of like today, again, is there going to be like a ton of super heavy rain? Probably not, but we're going to have relatively persistent showers and embedded downpours along and east of I-35 heading into about noontime or so. Then for the second half of the day, we'll trend drier, but even into the afternoon and early evening for your Friday, there could be a few isolated showers and storms, mainly over the coastal plains. So overall, still 70% rain chance tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to be raining constantly or you're going to get 3 inches of rain or anything crazy, but we're definitely going to have a fair bit of rain around through the day tomorrow. Additional rainfall totals on top of what has already fallen. Look, I think an additional 1/10 of an inch to 1.5 inches of rain is on the way for many spots. I know that's a big range. Just depends on where exactly these batches of rain will set up. So at this point, I don't see a big flood concern. We do still technically have a low-end flood threat through the rest of tonight, but so far I think this has been the amount of rain that we can handle. We'll keep an eye on things though. Here's the weekend forecast. So once the rain moves out Friday evening into Friday night, Saturday is going to be completely dry. There will be some low clouds in the morning, but then we'll clear to sunshine as we go to the afternoon. High will be about 85. Then on Sunday, now starting to get some new high-res data that says, hey, not so fast. Maybe we have a storm chance on Sunday in the morning that we need to keep an eye on. So it's just a 30% rain chance for now. But I want to show you some of the data that I'm looking at that has, caught my attention a little bit more, let's say for Sunday. All right, so we'll take this full for you. Here is 1 a.m., very early Sunday. Let's fast forward to 3 a.m. and this model says, wait a minute, we've got a big batch of strong to possibly severe storms coming into the hill country with maybe a hail, gusty wind threat and some locally heavy rain. We like the heavy rain part of that, not so much the hail and the wind. And then we'll see maybe some of this blows into the metro and northern I-35 corridor like early on Sunday. And then here's 4:30. At that point, maybe already moving out of our eastern areas. We'll keep an eye for some hit or miss stuff as we get into here's 1 o'clock, and I think that's the last frame of our model. So it looks like mainly the first half of the day on Sunday. The Storm Prediction Center, I had it right. So this is not for Saturday. This is the Sunday storm outlook. Let me change that while I'm thinking about it. I apologize. This graphic is not one of the ones that auto updates, so bear with me. I'm going to change this right now while I'm thinking about it before I forget about it and show it at 10 o'clock. So here's the Sunday storm outlook, mainly highlighting areas to our northeast with the 15%, which is basically the level 2 risk, but that goes into Milam County and Lee County and Fayette County, and look, we'll see. I could see them maybe even extending that a little bit down closer to us. And speaking of, I want to show you the Saturday outlook too. I apologize, I'm jumping around here. So here's the flood outlook through the rest of tonight, which still technically has a level 2 out of 4 for Austin, points to the south, but I think our risk of any sort of major flooding is pretty low at this point. Here is the storm outlook though. So let's do this. Here's the day 3. So for Saturday and Saturday night, they are watching areas to our north and to our northwest. So whether it's Saturday night or Sunday, I think generally we're going to have more of our area involved in some sort of a low-end severe risk for Saturday night into the first part of the day on Sunday. So we will keep you updated on that. Once we get past tomorrow's rain, we'll start to focus more on what could happen on Sunday. Here's my 7-day forecast. So there's still 70% chance for rain for Friday, especially the first half of the day, and especially for areas along and east of I-35. Low 70s for afternoon highs. It will still be, relatively cool for this time of the year. 85 on Saturday, morning clouds, afternoon sun. Sunday, especially the first half of the day, we'll see about a storm chance. I'm increasing this. It's a 30% for now. Again, this is like early morning of Sunday. That could go even higher, so we'll keep an eye on that part of our forecast. Monday, 81. Tuesday, 80, so that will be a front coming through. It will be marginally cooler for early next week, and then I think we get back upper 80s, low 90s Wednesday and Thursday of next week. I'm seeing some signs in the longer range models that, hey, maybe the middle to end of next week we could have some more storms. So is it a super active, super wet weather pattern? It's not, but it's nice to have at least some storm chances that we're tracking over the next couple of days. It's the spring. This is the time of the year where we need to make up some of these rainfall deficits that we had built up. So that is an update on our forecast. I appreciate everybody joining us here at KVU Plus and YouTube Live and all of our streaming platforms for our nightly extended update on the forecast. I'll take a little bit of a break, and then the next update from me will be KVU News at 10 o'clock coming up in about 2.5 hours. Y'all have a good night, and we will see you then.